Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be discussing something that I haven't really touched upon, I would say, in the last kind of year, actually sitting down and talking about it. And I've had a lot of questions recently, both on Instagram and on recent videos and vlogs. When I say recent, you have to remember that I'm not posting very frequently. In fact, I feel like I'm posting once every couple of months at the moment, so you know, a considerable amount of time goes by in between videos, and I feel like that's why the change looks so significant. But I have been asked a lot of questions about my weight, how I've managed to lose the weight, any tips I have to share, what diet, if any, that I've been following, how do I feel about my weight now, what made me want to lose weight, and how I've done it. So I thought I'd sit down and address it today. I actually started working about half an hour, 45 minutes. I was meant to drop Layla off this morning. Andrew very kindly has driven her, so I don't need to do that. So I thought I'd take the time, have my cup of tea, have my breakfast, and I would sit down and just address the bit of an elephant in the room, because I had a lot of questions about it. So to give you guys a little bit of context for those that are new, this isn't the first time I've lost a dramatic amount of weight in a relatively short space of time. The bulk of my weight I actually lost about, I want to say 5 years ago or 4 years ago. In 2018 I was doing WW, or Weight Watchers as it was at the time, and I was pointing and I was tracking that journey, and I did a lot of videos on it. I did a lot of updates, I did a lot of what I eat in a days, and you guys loved them. I feel like that's where the majority of my audience has actually come from. And I got to my goal weight, and I maintained that weight for a good 2 years. I was really disciplined, not disciplined in the sense that I was being super strict, but I'd learned the fundamentals, I'd learned about my body, I'd learned what worked for me and what didn't, the types of foods to eat, the quantities of food that I wanted to eat, and it was fine. And then fast forward a couple of years ago, when we first moved into this house, the weight, and I was working full time, so I wasn't cooking as much from scratch, the weight kind of slowly trickled on. Now I don't want to say it got to a point where it was a concern, because I mean, I'm going to share figures with you today just to give you a bit of context, because I know it's all well and good me sitting here at this size wearing a really baggy jumper and jeans, and you can't really tell. So I don't normally share numbers. I used to, and then I stopped because I didn't want anyone kind of comparing themselves. But actually I feel like, to give the proper context that's needed, I will share numbers today, but then I'll probably not talk about it again for a while. But yeah, so the weight kind of started to trickle on slowly when I moved into this house, and then I went from 8 stone 2, which is what I was at when I moved into this house, all the way up to 10 stone 9, which is a dramatic amount of weight if you think about it. Like, within the space of a couple of years to put on that amount of weight, which was so easy to do. It's so easy to do. Was quite a shift. Now that meant that I was a size 12, 10 to 12. It wasn't, honestly, it was nothing. It wasn't anything significant. But I just didn't feel good in myself. I didn't feel confident. My clothes weren't fitting right. I felt like I was having to buy different things in my wardrobe after I just got it the way I wanted it. I just didn't feel like me. I didn't feel happy about it. And even though a lot of people in my life actually said I looked a lot healthier at that weight, it was a mental thing for me. And I'm not going to turn around and say that I figured out all the mental things when it comes to weight loss, because honestly I'm not. Sometimes I'm really cool with my weight, sometimes I'm really harsh on myself, or I'm really lax with it. I feel like everybody has those moments, but I'm not a dietitian, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not here to give you diet advice. I'm just sharing my story, what I've done, how I've done it, how I feel about it, and why, because I've had a lot of questions about it, and I feel like it's an area that a lot of people want to focus on. It's something that people tend to want to address, especially for me. Like, I can't turn around and say don't lose weight, because I wasn't happy at myself at a particular size. And that's not to say that I look at people that are a size 12 and think that they look big. That is not the case, but you just feel it in your own body. Like, you know what works well for you, you know what you're comfortable at, and I just was not comfortable at 10 stone 9. I was actually bordering, I would say 12 on the bottom and 10 on the top. So I always tend to have a size on bottom and a size on top. For example, I'm a size 6 on top and a size 8 on bottoms now. So I never tend to completely match, because the top part of my frame is so much smaller than the bottom. Yeah, so anyway, I'm going to start from when we first moved in. So like I said, put on weight. And this was at the time, I'd say around my brother's wedding, where I just didn't feel great about myself. I just felt really sluggish. And it wasn't just a physical thing about how I looked, it was more how I felt. Like, I just didn't feel right in myself. I just didn't feel confident, I didn't feel comfortable. I wasn't used to carrying that extra weight after keeping it off for so long. But to combat it, I started to do what I eat in a days again, just to kind of take you guys on that journey, keep me accountable. I always felt it was lovely to share that side of things with you guys, to get encouragement, to get advice, to share tips, to share meal ideas, because I love cooking. You guys know cooking and baking is my jam, and I love to do it. I love to share recipes. So I figured it was a quite organic time. I kept doing those videos, I would say, for a good 2 months, and then I stopped, because what I found was, and this is to this day, I don't track anymore. Like, I was tracking at the beginning, like I was tracking when I started to address my weight 6 months ago. I thought, I'm gonna download WW again, and I'm still paying for it now, actually, which is, you know, I don't know why I've stopped paying for it. It's really bizarre. For some reason I cannot seem to cancel it. I don't know why that is, even though I've not tracked on this app. In fact, I can tell you the last time I tracked on this app, when it comes to my food. The last time I tracked on this app was May. It was May. And it was really sporadic. For me, it was manageable. It was done organically. I would say it was like between £1 to £2 per week, sometimes 3, depending on my cycle, things like that. If I was carrying any water weight, if I was constipated, all of these factors do come into play. Or just if I've had, you know, a weekend where I've eaten out a lot and not really made the choices that I would normally make. So that's where I'm up to with that side of things. I do still have the app, and I still use it. And for anyone who actively wants to lose weight, it is something that, not the community side of it. I didn't go on the community side. I've not touched that in years because I felt it was quite toxic. But the counting side of it, so the tracking meals, it's so easy. If you're interested, I have done a whole bunch of videos on my weight loss journey previously, which really does go into depth how to use these features. I even did a couple of walkthroughs on the app. I compared the plans as they were at the time. They've most likely changed now, but I've not tracked, so I can't really say what the service is like now, how it works. What I can say is what works for me, and what was working for me was just knowing my calories, because I've done it for such a long time that you get to know the foods that work for you and the portion sizes that work for you. I dramatically increased them, so I already knew what to do. So I wasn't relying on the app for tracking as such. I was more relying on it to keep me accountable, to keep me tracking my weight. And I would say I got to my goal weight again within the 6 months. So I completely stopped really paying attention to it when it comes to Weight Watchers back in May. Or WW. Then we went to Paris, went to Disney, and I feel like that was a good size for me. There was nothing wrong with it, but I have found that steadily the weight has continued to drop off, probably just because I'm still being mindful with my calories. I don't eat a ton of sweet treats, if I'm completely honest. Like, I have a little in moderation, and I feel like that's with everything, a little in moderation. I've always said that. I'm not going to sit and give advice on this video, because I've done a ton of advice videos, like especially when it comes to WW, calorie control, portion control, snack ideas, snacking habits, how to curb certain things. This is literally just addressing the fact that you guys have asked me how I've lost the weight recently, how I feel about it, and how I'm doing, because it's not something that I've addressed, and I appreciate from months to months it can look quite a dramatic weight loss. And I've literally just done it with watching what I've eaten. I know it sounds really crazy. I've not done any exercise at all. I used to run. I used to be quite an active runner. I used to run 3 times a week. I've not really done that again since I moved into this house. I have not been for a run. I think I've been on 2 runs since I moved into this house in 2 years. So don't work out. What I will say is I have quite an active lifestyle where I'm at the office 2 days a week. So I do a lot of walking when I am in the office. And in between that I have 2 children, so they keep me very active. I'm running a household, I feel, keeps you a semi-degree of active. Could I be more active? Absolutely, but with my portion intake and my calorie intake, if I was to work out on top, it would not be great for me. I'd have to eat significantly more than I do. I still have obviously 3 meals a day, but breakfast for me, and this was as a majority of the case, unless it's the weekend, I might have porridge. I have a banana. Lunchtime I have a soup, a sandwich, or an omelette most likely, or a bagel. And then for dinner I'll have something more substantial, like a burger and fries, or some grilled chicken with some rice, a curry, a stew, burritos. I'm not very strict in terms of what I eat, but I'm strict with how much I eat it. So I feel like my weight loss has been addressed by portion control, and that is always the case for me. I'm not the sort of person that wants to turn around and say, I'm going to cut out chocolate, I'm going to cut out wine, I'm going to cut out carbohydrates. It's not sustainable. It doesn't make me happy. What I can do is I can control the amounts I have. So I've got a very, very good self-discipline. I've always had it. I have it generally, to be quite honest with you, with most things, whether it is my studies when I was younger, my work life now. I've got a very good self-discipline, a very good kind of mindset where I can hyper focus. I'm quite good at that. I don't tend to derail too much. I don't concentrate on what other people are doing too much. I can really hyper focus on the thing that I need to get done and get it done. And I feel like with weight loss, that is quite serving to me. I'm not going to turn around and say I probably couldn't relax about it a bit, because I absolutely could. Again, I've not completely figured out the amazing healthy mental health balance when it comes to weight, because some people might look at me now and say, you are way too small. A size 10, 12 is absolutely fine. That's ridiculous. It would have looked better on you. You're quite small framed. I get that. You just know what you're comfortable with, and that's all I'm going to say. Like, I cannot justify it any more than that. I look at pictures of myself at that size today and I see nothing wrong with it, but at the time when I'm in that and I'm pulling my jeans on, or I'm getting dressed, or I'm having to buy certain sizes, I just didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel right. And for me, I feel like it's all about doing what's right for you. I didn't lose weight to appease anybody but myself. In fact, I think Andrew probably would prefer me bigger. I pretty much know that, because he told me. I know this already. I think he'd prefer it if I put on half a stone to maybe a stone. But you know, you know your body. That's all I'm gonna say. You know what you feel sits well on you. I am gonna kind of relax a little bit now and try to maintain this weight. If I put a little bit on, that's absolutely fine. If not, to be fair, probably do put in a few pounds on, if I'm completely honest, just so my clothes fit a bit better, just to give you some perspective. These jeans are Topshop size 8, which I feel are quite small sizes anyway. Oh god, you can see my rib there a bit. That's not great, but yeah, I'm not promoting that at all. I'm just being completely honest with where I'm at. And this jumper is an XS size 6. It's a baggy jumper, but it's quite a baggy jumper anyway. I feel like the place you can really see it on me is here. So I'm not here trying to advocate to you guys that this is a fantastic weight, that I look amazing. I'm just addressing to you guys, yes, I acknowledge I've lost a lot of weight. If you're interested in losing weight, this is how I've done it, because I was actively trying to lose weight. I would say in the last 2 months, I've just been maintaining my weight. So I went from eating 1200 calories a day to 1600 calories a day, which is what I eat at the moment. I eat around 1600 calories a day, for anyone who wants that reference. And for numbers again, I am 8 stone 8 and I was 10 stone 9 and I'm 5'5". At my smallest, when I first moved into this house, again I was 8 stone 2, so there's still a 5 pound buffer there. I am not interested in going down to that weight. I'm really not. I feel like this is the most I can push it, if I'm completely honest, without me just looking not too great. I don't want this to be a negative video. I just want it to be real. Like, I just want it to be real. I want it to be real. I don't want to turn around to you guys and say, you know, this is what you need to do. There's just something inside me that doesn't like me to get over a certain size, and when that happens I tend to have a bit of a freak out and I will work really hard to lose it, and then I'll maintain it for a few years, and then life happens and sometimes a bit will creep back on and the cycle might continue. I've never, since I lost the bulk of my weight, been above a size 10, 12, and that feels great for me. I feel that's a nice healthy weight, but at the moment, I'm not gonna lie, I have had a lot of questions about it. To be fair, I think I look fine. I really like this weight. I feel like I carry it well. My clothes fit well. I'm really comfortable. But, you know, I'm not going to sit here and advocate this weight and make anyone else who's bigger feel bad, because that's not how it is. That's not what I'm trying to say. That's not the vibe I want to give off. I'm just saying this is the weight I feel comfortable. It's the weight I feel I look better. And it's the way I feel better in myself, and you have to go with how you feel better, how you feel in yourself. But majority of the weight I have lost with portion control, tracking my weight once a week. I don't cut out food groups, so I'm never the type of person that's going to stop eating bread or carbs. I feel like carbs is a bit of a mystery. A lot of people say I'm going to cut out carbs. Broccoli's a carb, so if you're going to cut out food groups, you really do need to do your research. What I would say is have everything, just have it in moderation. address your portion control. The WW app, I'm not going to lie, I didn't love the community side of it. I felt it was quite toxic. However, the tracking side of it and the weight tracking, the food tracking, the recipes, the advice, the resources is really good. And that's probably why I've just kept paying for it, just because it's there in the background, it's there if I need it. But I am going to leave it at that. I feel like what I probably should have done, because this is really rambly, because I've kind of spoken from the heart. I didn't really have notes of what I wanted to say. I've just kind of sitting down and addressing loads of people. Said, how have you lost your weight? You look fantastic. And I thought, yeah, I feel great. I'm going to sit down and address it. But I need to be really careful and choosy, because this isn't for everybody. This weight isn't for everybody. We're all different. We're all different shapes and sizes. I'm guessing metabolism, genetics will come into place somewhere. How we digest food, how we carry our weight, where we carry our weight. We're all different, so you know, take this with a pinch of salt. I'm just telling you how I did it in case anyone is interested. I am thinking about doing what I eat in a days again, just because they're so easy to film, and I feel like it would be a way to get content out. And I know you guys love my recipe videos, but they wouldn't particularly be health conscious, because I'm not trying to lose any weight, so they'd just be me maintaining my weight. But what I could do, because again I am still paying for the app, is I could scan things and let you know what they are, even though I'm not tracking. So if you would like what I eat in a days to come back, they won't be back as frequently as they were, but perhaps if you'd want one once a week or once every other week, give it a like, comment down below, and share your guys' stories as well, because it is a comfort. No hate, no negativity. I don't want to hear like you look skeletal, you look horrible, you look better before, because to be honest with you, it's subjective, isn't it? And I'm just not going to engage in that kind of conversation. Never get that normally. I mean, sometimes I'll get it on Instagram a little bit, but I just ignore that. But on YouTube it tends to be quite a lovely crowd. But I will reply to all of the comments, so if you want to say hey, you want to get some advice, you want some tips, check out the description box, because I'm going to link some playlists that I've made in the past that I think may help. So when I was actively trying to lose weight in that moment, the advice I gave may be relevant, so go and check those out. But I'm gonna go. Thank you for watching. I hope you are all well, and I will see you in my next video, which is going to be a homeware haul that I'm very excited about. I'm teaming up with Temu. I'm just waiting for a few things to come, and I'm gonna deck the halls and get my house all ready for Christmas. But it'll be great if you guys are still gifting, or if you want to kind of spruce up your house in the new year. They have some great fantastic bargains on there, so if you are loving a homeware haul, stay tuned for that, because it is coming. But I'm gonna love you and leave you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.